Hi everybody, in this video I'd like to redo number 8. The first angle A was correct on the answer key, but angles B and C were not. So I'd like to go through my work here if you would like to use it. So for number 8, if we drew a triangle, again the directions are to solve the triangle. So if I draw a quick oblique triangle, I know that side A is 10 centimeters, side B is 9 centimeters, and side C is 3 centimeters. And so if we have to decide if we're using law of sines or cosines to start this, I notice that I have no angles at all, which means that I cannot do the ratio of sine of an angle over the opposite side, which means that I have to start with the law of cosines if I'd like to solve this triangle. And whenever you start with the law of cosines, I would very, very highly suggest starting with the largest angle. So please consider finding the largest angle first, because if you do, you're going to avoid the ambiguous case law of sines. So if we do that and focus on the largest angle, which has to be A because it's across from the longest side, if I want to find A, I'm going to start with A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine of A. And so now we can plug and chug what we know. A squared, which is 10 squared, equals 9 squared plus 3 squared minus 2 times 9 times 3 cosine of what I don't know. Now my suggestion to get cosine of A by itself is to move the unattached things to cosine first, which would be the 9 squared and the 3 squared. So eventually, if I did this all in my calculator, I would subtract over these two pieces, and then the negative 2 times 9 times 3 is attached to the cosine, so eventually I would divide negative 2 times 9 times 3 to the other side, and that would all be equal to cosine of A. Now if you type this into your calculator correctly, you get negative 0.185 and so on equals cosine of A. So if you took the inverse of both sides, you would get that the first angle in degrees is 100.67 degrees. Okay. Because this is not the ambiguous case, I do not need to worry about two different situations. I just want to continue solving this one triangle. Next thing I want to find, let's find angle B. We could use the law of cosines again, or we could switch to the law of sines, because I now know that angle A is 100.67, so I can compare the angle to the side across from it. So I could say sine of 100.67 degrees over 10 equals the sine of B over 9. And if I cross multiply, I would get sine of B is 9 times the sine of 100.67 degrees, and I would divide that by 10. If I did this completely in my calculator, you would get a decimal here. Then you would take the inverse of both sides, and if you do that, you would get 62.18 degrees. Lastly, if you'd like to find angle C, it would be 180 degrees minus angle A, which is 100.67, minus angle B, 62.18, and you would get the final angle of 17.15 degrees. So C is 17.15 degrees. I hope it was helpful to see this problem again. Thank you.